The future of Formula One is here with the confirmation of the 2026 Formula One season. 24 races lined up for next year. New teams, new tracks, new power units, a whole new look for the sport, and a very interesting calendar, which will have a very long European leg and a bit of consolidation, really, from the different races in terms of where the Formula One sort of schedule takes us all around the world. We are set to obviously have Audi and Cadillac on the grid forward in the power units, and going to be a massive year for Formula One. New regulations, slightly smaller cars, and hopefully a bit of a reset for a sport which has been dying to be more competitive in the last few years. At the moment, it's always sort of seasons competed between one, maybe two teams, and two, maybe three drivers. Hopefully, a reboot of all the different regulations, as well as the additions of new teams, different power units, potentially new tracks, might try and re-energize a sport which is not lacking in fans, but maybe lacking a little bit in excitement. Let's get into it, shall we? In terms of exactly what we can expect next year. So we'll start off with the schedule. And there it is, everybody. It starts off in Australia. Any Formula One season that starts in Australia is already a good start. You know, it's already kind of more traditional about what we used to in recent times. And from there, we're going to go immediately to Asia for China and Japan. And with Ramadan falling in March, I think it is. Then we've got April, Bahrain, and Saudi Arabia. From there, we go to North America for Miami and Canada. And then probably my favorite part of the entire thing is that a much more sort of settled European calendar. Spain, Austria, Great Britain, Belgium, Hungary, Netherlands, Italy, all wrapping up in Madrid in Spain before we go to Azerbaijan. But this circuit will debut next year. It's called the Mad Ring in Madrid. It'll mean that there'll be two Grand Prix over in Spain next year. So it is Spain there in Barcelona on the 12th to the 14th of June. And we're then there back in September for the Madrid leg, which will feature the circuit. A street circuit. We've actually got a video on the channel of a basically simmed sort of lap of the track itself. It seems to be quite a high-speed track. A couple of interesting corners. Overtake will be interesting. Obviously, quite sort of some high-speed sort of bends there, and a couple of very sharp corners as well. It's always difficult to have a look at a track and immediately sort of see what we come to expect. But especially, as you can see sort of in the bottom left there, some opportunities to get to high speeds before some really short corners. So interesting to see where the overtaking will take place on the new circuit. It's always interesting to see a new circuit coming in. But if you have a look at the calendar there, we got Azerbaijan, Singapore, United States, Mexico, Brazil, Las Vegas. So a nice sort of American leg there as well. And then we finish with Qatar before Abu Dhabi brings it all down to a close on the 6th of December. For me, it's a much better calendar in terms of looking where we're going. Yes, not quite geographically going sort of close as possible, but we've got legs. We've got nice legs. You know, we've got Australia, China, Japan, similar sort of time zone. Then we go to Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, again, similar time zone. Miami, Canada will be similar time zones, and then Monaco through to Spain will also be quite similar. You can kind of get into rhythms. Then Azerbaijan, Singapore, United States, Mexico, Brazil. You know, it's kind of get used to the different legs. And I think this is the biggest thing that sometimes over the years the Formula One Canada has lacked, is a bit of consistency in terms of, your time zones, your places, the logistics, obviously, the conditions as well, street circuits versus, your traditional circuits. And I think that's a much better global calendar with regards to the balance they've got, in terms of having those sort of different legs. The question is, will it sort of create a more competitive season? And let's hope so, because we've got some more things coming in. First of all, big news is that obviously Red Bull coming into Ford rather. Well, there will be a bit with Red Bull coming into Formula One, back into Formula One with their new sort of hybrid power units. And interesting to see what the power is going to be. 100% sustainable is the 2026 sort of mandate, really. And having Ford back in it doing those hybrid units will be interesting to see what the performance of the cars are going to be like. And they've got Red Bull, the AlphaTauri team as well, and for 4 years, by the way, with Red Bull, which is going to be interesting to see how sort of that goes. And Red Bull, especially at the moment, not necessarily having the pace they'd like. What was going to be interesting is how that Ford power system works and whether they are going to have the desired power and performance right from the beginning. Then we say hello to Audi, who are, of course, set to take over from Sauber at the end of the season. They have acquired Sauber, and then 2026 is going to the launch of the Audi season. And we expect to see those sort of colors in the Audi car. Obviously, that's not the final livery we're going to see. Put on a lot more sponsors, and we'll start to understand exactly what that Audi car is going to look like. But look, the Sauber all of a sudden this year has not looked like just a back of the grid, F2 car, really, sitting in Formula One. It looked like a bit of a fraud in the last few seasons, starting to look a bit more at home on the grid. And obviously, the project for Audi is to be a genuinely competitive side. So they're going to have to make sure they're trying to hit the ground running next year. And then big welcome is, where's my picture gone? Is a welcome to Cadillac, who will enter the grid next year as an additional Formula One team. And I mean, interesting to see what many things, I suppose, are going to look like with regards to them coming into it. Because, first of all, obviously, it's a brand new team. So we're going to see a brand new car, new livery and the likes of things. And there it is. That's the logo. By the way, we don't know what the livery is going to be, what the car's going to look like. The initial sort of photos were just an all black F1 car. So difficult to know what it's going to look like. But yeah, obviously going to be 2 new drivers driving for them, new team principals, and new team management and new kits. For example, they've got Tommy Hilfiger, I think, is coming, and they're going to be their kit suppliers. So yeah, I mean, a new team should hopefully add a bit more to that sort of especially the sort of mid-grid racing. But interesting to see that. I mean, there's a lot of backing. Cadillac coming in and hopefully going to put their money where their mouth is, and hopefully create a bit more competition in the grid. The main thing is, the whole point of the regulations are to start promoting more racing. We're talking about smaller cars, which kind of sort of encourage more overtaking. Street circuits like Monaco are hopefully going to become sort of more back into the mix in the years to come, as we make those cars a bit smaller and make those circuits a bit more relevant with regards to being able to actually overtake and be more competitive. So lots of changes happening in the Formula One season. What is your take on this calendar? What do you think of the new teams, the power units, the new track, for example? A very, very big year to come. And look, this year's proved to be relatively exciting, but I think we'd like to be a bit more competitive, to be honest. Will we get that next year with all the different changes? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Smash a like on the video and let me know, are you going to think of changing your teams? Are we going to see anybody ditch a big team for Audi, for example? Where are the Cadillac fans going to come? Are they going to get some big American support to take away from the likes of House, for example? Where are we going to see the fans from Cadillac coming in, and what is the drive line? Are we going to see Checo Perez? Talks about Mick Schumacher potentially also making a return, going sort of one young driver, one more experienced drivers. What do you think? Let me know all your opinions down in the comments below, and we'll see you guys this weekend for some race coverage from Friday through to Sunday.